Bill Gaither's name has 4 generations. Stood as a powerful symbol of gospel music, joyful worship, and an unwavering faith expressed through song. For more than 6 decades, his presence has been linked with uplifting performances, inspirational lyrics, and a ministry that has touched millions across the world. His name carries weight not only in Christian music but also in the hearts of those who have found comfort, encouragement, and hope through the melodies he has written and sung. When people hear the name Bill Gaither, their minds often drift toward images of harmony-filled church concerts, warm homecoming gatherings, and songs that seem to reach past the ears and speak directly to the soul. His work is remembered not just for its artistry, but for its unique ability to nurture faith and spread encouragement in times when people needed it most. Every concert, every television broadcast, and every album carried a message bigger than music hit. Was about connection, healing, and reassurance. Yet, as with many legendary figures, the image the public sees only reveals part of the truth. Behind the glowing stage lights, the televised broadcasts, and the thunderous applause of fans, lies a story far more complex. Gaither's life, while undeniably rich in blessings, has also been deeply shaped by trials, disappointments, and personal sacrifices. His music often speaks of joy, heaven, and eternal faith. But those words were not born from a life free of hardship. Instead, they grew out of real experiences, times of sadness, perseverance, and wrestling with the unavoidable realities of being human. Now, as Bill approaches his 90th year, his story has become even more compelling. Admirers often look at his enduring presence and ask, how did he keep going? How did he hold on to his calling, his joy, and his purpose when so many obstacles stood in his way? Answers are not simple, but they are profound. From the outside, Bill Gaither's career shines brightly, decorated with countless awards, sold-out concerts, and a legacy that has deeply shaped the world of Christian music. To the casual observer, it might appear that his life was a smooth path paved with applause and admiration. But when one looks closer, the truth reveals a layered story. Bill's songs, whether sung in small church halls or broadcast into millions of homes through television specials, have always carried messages of joy, hope, and eternal faith. Yet those themes resonate so deeply precisely because they were born out of moments of struggle. When audiences sing along to his words of encouragement, many never realize that those very lyrics often came from seasons when Bill himself was wrestling with doubt, pain, or weariness. Few would imagine that a man admired worldwide and seen as a spiritual leader could also carry his own wounds and burdens. But this is exactly what makes his journey so meaningful. Bill's story is a reminder that even those who inspire millions are not immune to life's storms. If anything, his hardships helped forge the sincerity and depth that listeners hear in his music. Without walking through valleys of struggle, the mountaintop songs might never have carried the same power. And so, as Bill Gaither reaches an age when most people would have retired long ago, fans continue to wonder, how did he endure? How did he balance the pressures of fame, ministry, and personal Struggles without giving up? To find those answers, one must look back to the very beginning. Bill's story begins in the modest town of Alexandria, Indiana. In the 1930s, it was a place where faith and community shaped daily life. His childhood was not defined by fame or luxury, but by simple values, hard work, devotion to family, and an unwavering commitment to God. In many ways, these early influences became the bedrock of everything he would later achieve. As a young boy, Bill discovered a profound love for music. The hymns sung in his local church stirred something deep within him. The harmonies, the reverence, and the beauty of those songs ignited a spark in his heart. Unlike many children who might have viewed church music as routine or ordinary, Bill felt it as a sacred calling. Care. Each note carried a message greater than itself. And young Bill began to dream that perhaps he too could create music that lifted people's spirits. Encouraged by his family, he started writing songs of his own. He sang at gatherings, small church events, and anywhere an audience would listen. These early attempts may have been humble, but they carried the seeds of something far greater. Those formative years gave Bill more than just a pastime. They gave him a sense of purpose. Music, he realized, was not merely entertainment. It was a tool for ministry, a bridge between people and God, and a source of comfort during life's inevitable storms. Though he could not have known it then, those beginnings in his small hometown were laying the foundation for a career that would touch millions. Alexandria may have been just a dot on the map, but it was there that one of gospel music's greatest voices first began to dream, to write and to sing. By the time he reached adulthood, Bill understood that what stirred within him was more than talented, was a divine calling. He firmly believed that God had placed this assignment on his life, and that his purpose was to use music not simply to entertain but to minister. This conviction became the driving force behind every decision he made while others pursued careers for financial gain or public recognition. Bill's deepest desire was to serve. He believed that music could act as a bridge, connecting people to God and to one another, offering strength in moments of weakness and light in seasons of despair. It was during these years that Bill's path became forever intertwined with Gloria, who would not only become his wife, but also his partner in ministry and songwriting. Together, they dreamed even bigger. Gloria shared his belief that songs should speak honestly to the struggles of life, marriage, doubt, perseverance, and above all, faith in God. Their partnership enriched not only their music, but also their ministry. The calling that had begun in small-town church pews was now evolving into a full-fledged mission. Bill and Gloria realized that their songs were not simply melodies. They were messages. It became lifelines for the weary, encouragement for the lonely, and reminders that God's presence was always near. This discovery transformed Bill's love for music into something deeper. A lifelong pursuit, a mission, and a calling. He was no longer just a singer or a songwriter. He had become a messenger. And through that calling, he would embark on a journey that would forever change the landscape of Christian music. The next chapter in Bill Gaither's remarkable journey began with the birth of the Gaither Trio, a gospel group that originally featured Bill himself, his wife Gloria, and Bill's brother Danny. What started as a simple family effort soon grew into something deeply impactful. Gloria eventually stepped in more fully, not only as a singer, but also as a gifted lyricist who worked alongside her husband to shape the trio's message and music. Together, they traveled across the country, performing in churches, community halls, and at gatherings both large and small. Their style was distinctive, firmly rooted in the traditions of gospel music, yet refreshed with heartfelt lyrics and harmonies that carried a modern spark. Unlike many performers who seemed more interested in fame and polish, the Gaithers carried with them something different: authenticity. Audiences could sense it immediately. When they sang, it wasn't about impressing people. It was about connecting with them. Listeners often felt that the songs were telling their own stories, speaking directly to the struggles, doubts, and hopes they carried deep within. This genuine connection made the trio's popularity rise rapidly. They began recording albums, performing widely, and earning a reputation not only for excellence but also for sincerity. For Bill, however, the pursuit was never about money or fame. His heart was grounded firmly in ministry. Each song was written and performed with the hope that it might carry God's presence into the room. By the 1970s, the Gaither Trio had carved out a lasting place in the Christian music community. Their albums inspired countless fans, and their concerts often became life-changing moments for many in the audience. During this time, Bill and Gloria's songwriting also flourished, producing timeless hymns like "Because He Lives" and "He Touched Me." These songs would eventually become staples of worship around the globe, sung by millions long after their creation. This was the very breakthrough Bill had once only dreamed about as a boy sitting in the pews of his childhood church. But unlike many who rise to fame, he never saw success as his own personal glory. Instead, he viewed it as a sacred assignment, calling to minister to people's hearts through music and words. The success of the trio was proof that the dream was unfolding. But Bill knew the mission had only just begun. As the 1980s came, Bill Gaither's vision expanded beyond what even he might have imagined. His dream was not just to sing gospel music, but to build a true community around it, a movement that preserved the rich traditions of gospel, while also making it accessible to new generations. This vision birthed what would later be known as the Gaither Homecoming series. The idea was simple, yet groundbreaking. Bill began inviting legendary gospel singers, many of whom were nearing the later years of their careers, to gather together and sing on one stage. But these gatherings were far more than concerts. They became evenings of fellowship, storytelling, testimonies of faith, and shared history. It was as though the living history of gospel music had been brought together in one place, televised nationwide.